There's a voice inside the conductor's echo, speaking to her as she plans to bring forth this golden age. At first, it was a quiet guide, but as of late it's beginning to make its statement clear. It does not agree with its wielder. Echoes have turned on the hands that control them in the past. Could this be the downfall of Maya Sundaresh and hers? Welcome, Guardians. Today we discuss some new lore. The echoes emerged from the traveler after the death of the witness. Last year's content focused on 3 of them and their stories. Sure, the power of the echoes could fall into hands of characters with evil intentions. That was sort of just the first step of things, but behind the scenes there was something else going on. Each echo had a being attached to it. Through memories of darkness, through connections to the witness in the past, they existed, manifested now in this new form. In Heresy, for example, the echo of the Navigator was the most obvious. Because, well, it spoke throughout the whole episode and you saw it most of the time. This one had a memory of Oryx inside of it, a past version of him.
I am the Taken King, the first Navigator. I rise from the deep.
In Revenant, Fikrul had the echo of Reese, which was connected to an ancient Elixni member. We didn't really have much on that one besides some of its intentions through cutscenes. And then we come to the one still in play here in the Edge of Fate and beyond. Maya Sundaresh acquired the Echo of Command on Nessus. This is the ring around her neck. Inside her echo is a long-dead commander of the Kugu species, a species destroyed by the Witness. His name is Takal, and he commanded a vast spacefaring species. They had both a rich culture and spirituality connected to their planet and some of the mountains, things like that, and also military tactics. Ultimately, though, that would go all out the window in a last stand battle above their planet. The Kugu were destroyed by the Witness and presumably hive forces alongside them. Takal had a strong connection to darkness, though. Most species did actually, and they used it in positive manners. Darkness was just a tool after all. With the powers, they would communicate with their ancestors. They shared thoughts and emotions with each other, and even used it to control their own technology with their minds, some of their spaceships and devices back on the surface. That emotion and pain they felt together would inflame, though, burst into a million pieces with the death of their species, and ultimately fade into the black as time went on. But thanks to the merge of light and dark, these echoes were made, and for a reason, Takal was binded to one, the one that Maya Sundaresh the Conductor would obtain. Maya told us back in Echoes her belief. She wanted this golden age back, but she also told us how she was going to rule, by commanding an army of individuals in the Vex, not a hive mind like the Witness.
Guardian, I bring an invitation. It's not too late to accept. Everything I do is for the sake of a second golden age. I return to what we have all lost. The Witness's failure showed that homogeny is fragile. Strength rises from individuality. It rejected the lesson of its own memory. Commander Takal's strength was their individual perspective. Their skill at directing an army, not a hive mind. The Echo of Command and I were equally shapeless before we joined. It reformed my consciousness even as I made it into my mantle. Power joined to individual will. This is the key. Commander Takal lacked one, and the Witness lacked the other. I hold both. With the Echo, I encouraged my Vex's individuality. I commanded your ally. With application. Could anything lie beyond my reach? I have the will and power to create a new golden age. I am no tyrant. The Conductor listens to her chorus. Join it and be heard. I'm sure we'd both prefer you make that choice for yourself. But believe me, that isn't necessary.
Edge of Fate ramps things up even further, and Tikal speaks once more through the echo to Maya. But the issue is they have very different opinions. Clearly, she's got some crazy ideas. The imminent lore book, A New One, explains some of this. The first entry mentions Tikal and speaks about how Maya wished they never released those copies of themselves into the Vex network, how the Vex haunt them with those simulations. The fall dissolves my body because I allow it. The radiolaria takes my consciousness into the network because I command it. I do not perish. I am not swept away by outside force. The waterfall accedes to gravity only upon my word. The lingering presence of Commander Tikal in my C2 vertebra understands the value of a tactical retreat. At age 43, I stood on the edge of the Citadel with a jar full of brains. 227 Maya Sundareshes replicated by the Vex, readied in turn as weapons against them. Sappers, explorers, lab rats loosed into a maze. Venus was lifetimes ago, before Lhasa, before Neomuna, before the network and my new becoming. My Chioma stood at my side, both of us in proxy suits, too fragile to walk under the shadow of the Citadel in our own bodies. Weak, mortal, scared for our lives and those of our copies, trapped within a linear flow of time, unable to stand aside and see that this was the happiest we'd ever be. The only ethical choice, we believed, was to accept the copies' vote and release them into the Vex network. We should have crushed the drives, broken the jars, strained the tadpoles from the water, and poured them into an incinerator, instead of dropping them into the pond. None of those copies were my Chioma. None were the true me. Frameshift mutations instantiated by the Vex to torment us with what they knew and what was beyond our control. Photonegatives, skewing further and further out of alignment the longer they were allowed to exist in something approaching linear time. Those Venus Chiomas still walking the network, the lingering remains of the Vex's first assault on my life and crude parasites. Mimics of the real plant, Bocchila trifoliata, hoping the angles of their misshapen leaves will keep them from my notice. I know my Chioma, and she knows me. If she does not know me with the light of an echo around my neck, then she is not the true Chioma. She is a weed in the flower bed, choking out a true rose. I control the variables. I command the Vex. There is nowhere that my Chioma can hide from me where I will not find her. There is nobody who can keep her from me. The waterfall at the heart of Nessus sweeps me into the information network and reassembles my body. The mantle on my shoulders sings with purpose as sweetly as ever. Tikal's memory guides me yet. A setback will not stop my work. One voice silence will not end the chorus. I lift my hand, breathe, and let the baton fall. So that card, I believe, takes place in Echoes when we kill her at the end, or she dissipates into the radiolaria. She just reforms after that and has these thoughts you just heard. In the next card, the fourth one of that lore book titled The Root of Unity, Maya demands that the Vex change, become more individual to accommodate her plan. And this is where she begins to butt heads with the voice inside of her echo. I am standing on a glass pier, stretching out over a pale, alkaline lake. I'm crossing a static charged field of snow. I'm sitting on a bench in front of a Parthenon frieze worn over millennia to near perfect smoothness. Necessary change. Limb and jaw beast maw. No lone mind is sane. A prudent general accepts new perspectives. A prudent general wins the war. You're right. I need new tools. Refutation, not tools. Allies. Listen, attend your ancestor. I rise from the bench, dust off my hands, exit the museum and drop my ticket stub on the way out. My tools are waiting. I command you. Pull on the helix and the strand reform. Eukaryotes wriggle, swell, collapse. Be otherwise. Eat the apple, leave the garden. Make a choice that comes from something other than your collective. I need variations in tactics. I need your minds to be separate from others. Respect what I can give you. Minotaurs kneel as I pass, my hand trailing sparks over their chassis. Hydras still their cilia in respect. A hobgoblin holds up useless, shining pieces of scrap to weld to its body. Its hand is very steady as it applies the solder. Tell me why. Its hand jerks back. It lifts its face as a sunflower to that which gives it life. Directive, original hobgoblin. Observe, judge, enact. If independent is true, then directive, modified hobgoblin. Observe, create, independent. Observe, create, build, self, other, beauty. An aspiring artist, useless, a waste of mind. New eyes, new limbs, needed and necessary. Wrong to call. An army is more than its head. An army is nothing but its head. Your cephalopod cousins and their independently minded limbs are not the model I work from. I strip the charge from the useless hobgoblin's radiolaria in one brisk pass of my palm over its head. The now empty chassis falls as I spin the recovered energy into a sphere, like yarn into a ball prickling in my hand. I raise another from the sea. This one knows its maker. Tell me who you are. Directive, original harpy, study, compile, serve. Directive, modified harpy, conductor, input required. I roll the marble of energy between my palms until it is smooth, electrical waveforms long and calm. The Vex lowers itself to my height at a thought, and I release the marble to let it sink into its huge bronze eye. Vast petals shudder and fold inwards. You'll do. So we see there how the Conductor uses her power, changing original Vex into her new vision. She wants them not just to follow directives, but be more independent. Along the way, she encounters that hobgoblin who tried to become an artist, a little too far past the individuality that she wants. But as we see others adapt in the way she wishes, like the harpy at the end, waiting for that directive to become one of the chorus. But like the audio we played earlier, Tikal says, listen, you need more than one commanding mind to win a battle. One person can't control everything, you need others to help, you're bound to fail. But Maya doesn't see it that way. She wants to shape those Vex on her own. Now we've seen how the Echo of Rees began to reject Fic rule and how he wielded its power back in Revenant. Could Tikal do the same? Very interesting thoughts. Maya in a battle not only with her visions of the Nine and the Guardians to bring forth the second Golden Age, but battling with the very mind that gives her the new power she controls.
It seeks an old strength. Strength to guide the scattered through a time of doubt and wrath. But it sees now how Fikrul wields its power. false life for an army of the slain, with those like Skolas for his pawns. The Echo seeks another wielder. It demands one who is worthy.
But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. A deeper look into the ideals of Maya Sundaresh the Conductor and the Echo itself, its voice in this new time and saga. If you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.